Welcome back to the channel. This is the Action Figure Grader. I'm pre-recording just for you some videos for while I'm out of town visiting some family. And one of my channel viewers requested a look at recent sales for the Black Series, a line of Star Wars toys that we have not looked at in a while. So I just pulled up some recent sales that were interesting, at least to me. They may not be to you, but I do have some recent sales. I've got a funny story related to one of the items I'm covering. And then I also have a really nice high-grade AFA graded item that I'm going to be listing. That is a Black Series item. I'm going to be listing it for sale at some point relatively soon on Rogue 5 Toys. That's a Facebook group where I admin along with Chris W. and the other 4 of the 5 idiots talking toys. And, you know, if you have any interest in it, let me know. I haven't figured out a price yet, and that's kind of why I kind of wanted to do this video anyway, just to see where this item has been selling. So let's go ahead and dig in. It's not a lot of sales, but I just wanted to point out that apparently the Darth Vader Duel's End is very expensive. Now, it lists here that this is a chase item, meaning that I'm assuming it was only available for limited time at retail. That's what I take from it. I'm so lazy, I didn't even try to look it up on Google. I'm just throwing it out there, showing you that this one in an auction sold June 29th for $140.50. Yet there was another one that sold up in Alaska. I don't know the exact date, but it was listed. Oh, it sold July 5th. So this one sold 6 days later for less than half the price at $70 plus $16 shipping. This one sold for $140.50. So a little over half the price versus what this one sold for. It looks to be the exact same item from what I can tell. This one came with a protective case as well. So I don't know why there is such a big price disparity for this particular item, the Darth Vader Duel's End Black Series. Other than it's awesome. I mean, I love the vintage collection version with the broken helmet, but pretty insane to see that price difference 6 days apart. The other big problem I have with the Black Series is that there are so many different packaging options. And of all of the different packaging options that are out there, the new ones where there's no window showing the figure are by far my least favorite. And the gaming grates apparently must have all come with this new plastic-free packaging, which I absolutely loathe. I cannot stand it, especially for someone as cool as Darth Malgus from the Old Republic. Very cool photo. It would look great on like a card back or at least a box with the window showing the figure. But this one still sold for $81 despite the box damage. And this one is the Republic Trooper Scorch, another gaming grate with the ugly box, and that one sold for $104.50. So I found a few other gaming grates that did sell for relatively big money when you compare it to the manufacturer's suggested retail price. So these must have been hard to find. So if you're holding on to any of those gaming grates with these ugly plastic-free packaging, they are going for a pretty penny on eBay for what it's worth. Some old school. We're kicking it old school with the blue line. This was always one of my favorites. This is the Han Solo with the Tauntaun multi-pack, and we've got a few multi-packs here. Obviously, the older these get, the harder they are to stay in good shape. They showed every single little scratch on these black boxes, but the orange and the blue lines were some of the coolest packaging ever for the Black Series. This one obviously had heavy wear, and the price reflected that, $150. I found another one that sold in similar, if not even better condition, that sold for half that price at $70. So that is another one that has kind of prices all over the map right now. This was an interesting sale for all of the Bad Batch members. So you got Omega there, Crosshair, Hunter, Wrecker, Tech, and I forget the last guy's name. What's his name? Echo. That's right, Echo. So for the entire Bad Batch team in the Black Series format, this is not bad packaging. I don't know why the gaming grates had to go to the plastic-free packaging when you have this kind of option available. These 6 sold together for $80 plus $10 shipping. Pretty good deal there. There's some other multi-packs I wanted to show you. This is the Jedi Survivor multi-pack that included the Magna Guard, the Super Battle Droid, as well as the Battle Droid. Love the color paint apps on those. Really, really cool. And that set sold for $65 plus $10 shipping. This seller has one more still available, but two of them have sold for $75 shipped for that set. Another cool set is the Phantom Menace Duel set with obviously Darth Maul and Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan. That's a pretty nice looking set there. I like that a lot. That one sold for $100 plus $7 shipping, so there's some demand for that one. Not sold on Qui-Gon Jinn's face technology there. Darth Maul obviously looks incredible, and Obi-Wan looks pretty good, I guess, but I would say that Darth Maul, of the three of those, has the best face sculpt. I'm not saying they're terrible, but they're certainly not the greatest either. Next up is another one that I didn't know was expensive. I'm not sure why, but this is a Black Series exclusive Clones of the Republic that included Yoda along with Commander Gree, and you can see that you got the normal looking Yoda, and then you've got the determined Yoda before he chops Commander Gree's head off, I suppose. That set sold for $195. So that's a pretty expensive one if you happen to have this set. Very, very cool set though. And let's see what else we got. This is another one that I forgot even existed. This is the Force Unleashed. This Black Series has Starkiller plus 2 troopers, and it comes with, kind of some alternate sculpts for the lightsabers. You got the Force Lightning Hand. You got the Force Push, I guess, with some effects there, along with some cannon fodder for Starkiller. But that set has a nice presentation. The box on this one was obviously had some wear to it. That's still sold for $120 plus $10 shipping. Another newer one, this is the Ronin with the R2-D2 from the Japanese lore, I guess. I didn't think that this would be something we'd ever actually see in action figure format. This came from the Star Wars Visions Episode 1, Season 1, which was an incredible episode, by the way. And I can't believe that they actually produced this, but this is a Hasbro exclusive, $66. All 5 of them have sold, and some other sellers have sold these in that $60 to $70 range. But great looking box art on that one, and I'm assuming that probably opens up. It's a nice touch that they use kind of some wicker little ties there, just ancient Japan type thing. Very, very cool. Next up, another really cool one. Look how beautiful this set is. This is the duel between Anakin and Obi-Wan on Mustafar. This is a very expensive SDCC exclusive. Great looking set though. I mean, that is absolutely stunning with the AI, they basically took the action figures there and put it behind the background, but how cool does that look? And that one sold for $260. That seller has one still available. 2 of them have sold. So that is an exclusive set, apparently from SDCC. All right, here's the funny story now. I had one of these at one point in my collection. I don't know why, but I had an AFA 9.0 for this gigantic SDCC 2017 exclusive of Luke Skywalker Farm Boy with the land speeder. And I had it graded, and I sold it on eBay because nobody else wanted it. It was gigantic, and it cracked in shipping. So I said, no problem, bad stuff happens. Bantha Poodoo happens. So I had them send it back to me, and it was all cracked and broken. And, then I resold it on eBay for like $100. I said, hey, look, the AFA case is broken. The item itself wasn't damaged, luckily. And so I don't know what I sold it for, $125. I auctioned it off. And, I said, fair warning, it is broken. All right. And so just bear that in mind. So I sent it off, and it arrived. And like a week later, whoever bought it from me relisted it at auction, and he got even less than he paid me for it. So it's like one of those things where he's like, I don't want to deal with this. This is all broken. I said you could send it back into AFA to get it, re-encased. But he obviously chose to just dump it at that point. So I'm assuming whoever bought it, I think they bought it for like $75 from him, and they just tore out the AFA case on it. So I don't know why I owned it. It was such a waste of money. I probably spent like $400 on it or something stupid, but it looked really cool for a little while. But then I realized it was gigantic, and I have nowhere to put it. So and more on that in a second. But speaking of Black Series really large items, I've got one coming up here in a second. Another one that I've always liked, I never had, but this is the 6-inch Black Series Boba Fett with the OG colors, original gangster Boba Fett. So it's got the Kenner colors, and it's on a card back that is kind of a foil, you know, hologram effect card back. For a while there, these were insanely expensive. I'm talking $300, $400, $500. AFA examples were going for like $600 or $700. This was during the height of the Book of Boba Fett, where everything Boba Fett was just insanely expensive. Well, this one just resold for $110. So it's pretty crazy to see how even the Black Series, hard to find SDCC exclusives for Boba Fett have really dropped in price. And this one has been no exception, although this one is really awesome. I mean, let's face it, the card art, the hologram effect to the Star Wars racetrack, the image on the back, this has got a lot of really cool stuff going for it. And I don't think spending $110 on this is a terrible waste of money, just given that it is a SDCC exclusive. All right, on to the item that I've got. I have the SDCC 2017 exclusive Black Series 6-inch Grand Admiral Thrawn. It came in this cool case, and it opens up. Well, I was a crazy person, and I got one in super mint condition. The seller was awesome and packaged it perfectly. It arrived with no damage. I then sent it to AFA to be AFA graded. And I was like, I have no idea if this is going to make it to them safely or what kind of grade it's going to get. But I asked them to grade it open like this. So I have this one, and it came back with an AFA 9.25, which is very tough to do for this type of item that has all these folding parts and sharp corners, and everything could possibly go wrong with it, from shipping to me when I bought it, from me shipping it to AFA, AFA shipping it back to me. The case made it back just fine. So I've got one of these. I've never taken it out of the AFA poly bag, ever. It's still in there. It's been, you know, used as a backdrop for a lot of my unboxing videos over the years, as you have seen it. Well, I'm going to list it for sale on Rogue 5 Toys, and I don't know where to list it. So this one is obviously not perfect. It had a lot of damage to the box, as you can see right there. It still sold for $130. I've seen nicer examples sell for closer to $200. These are all ungraded. So $200. We had this beauty that sold at auction that was signed by Timothy Zahn. That would be the only thing that would have been cooler for my AFA graded example, would be to have it signed by Timothy Zahn, but mine is not. This one is signed, which is really cool. If you got this one, if you happen to be the person that bought this, I would send this in to Collector Archive Services for their Signature Series grading yellow label and have them encase it open like this. And they do offer this as an item to be graded. But it would look really awesome to have this CAS graded with the Signature Series and having the autograph authenticated, which is very clearly Timothy Zahn's autograph. That's how he always signs stuff. But that one was really cool and sold for $177.50. And so my question to you, the viewing audience, is what should I sell my AFA 9.25 Black Series SDCC exclusive Grand Admiral Thrawn for? I was thinking in the neighborhood of $500, but I have not looked it up on the census yet, on the population report for AFA. I'm going to do that at some point after I get back from vacation, and just to see how it stacks up on the population report. For all I know, I could have the highest graded example. And for all I know, no one will care whatsoever. So we'll see, but I'm thinking in that 500 range. It was awfully expensive to obviously grade and to ship back to me, but I'm thinking $500 plus shipping, something like that. And I actually have the perfect shipping box for it. It fits it perfectly with wrapping and everything. So if you are into graded Black Series, especially something really cool like this that is like a centerpiece item, stay tuned on Rogue 5 Toys on Facebook. I will include a link in the video description for those of you that want to join. Make sure you answer the questions, otherwise your join request will be by Chris. Next up, we had a few graded autographed Black Series, excuse me. First was a Katie Sackhoff signed Bo-Katan. We had a Gina Carano signed Cara Dune. And then we had the guy that played Jar Jar Binks. I can't remember his name. All of these were signed, and they all include the JSA authentication certificate. And so this batch of 3 signed Black Series was listed for $700. The best offer accepted was $460, which doesn't seem like a bad deal for me, to me anyway, given how clean the signatures are for all 3 of those Black Series items. Those are also very good items to send in to Collector Archive Services. And maybe once I've completely sold off my entire collection, I will consider recollecting autographs either on comics, Yellow Series, CGC, or maybe Black Series or Vintage Collection signed stuff. I haven't figured out how I'm going to refill this room after I've sold everything off. But stay tuned. At some point after this room gets redone by my better half, against my will, I will be recollecting something, I'm sure. And these are the kinds of items that I would love to get and send to Collector Archive Services for their Yellow Label Signature Series. So those are, I thought, very good deals there. Finally, we had some UKG 90% Celebration 2019 from Chicago with the Black Series Episode 1 re-releases. So these are Episode 1 figures re-released on the 6-inch scale for Darth, Maul, as well as Obi-Wan Kenobi. These two had kind of that foil hologram effect to the Star Wars Episode 1 logos. These are very cool. I would love to have these, to be honest with you. These sold over in Australia for 350 Australian dollars, which equates to 230 US dollars. So those really the only items I found over the last 2 or 3 weeks that I thought were worth kind of showing on the channel. I hope you enjoyed this look at the Black Series. If you did, comment below and let me know, and I'll try to do it more often where possible. Thank you as always for watching. Don't forget to leave me a like, and I'll be back soon.